This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf that is available in print in 13 states and counting at your local cannabis retailer and also available online at leafmagazines.com. I'm Mike Ricker, your host of Leaf Life, proudly with my co-host and beloved bestie, Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJOG.
Hola, aloha OGs.
And Mary J. White.
The smoking female.
Welcome to the second half of this Leaf Life show called Sustainable Packaging. In just a moment, we'll get into a farmer's market future and we'll spin AJ's wheel to see what products ADRIAN Kimberley, who is the founder and CEO of the Restashed Cannabis Growler, this show's Greg the Guinea Pig, is going to be trying next. But first, it's time for Where in the World?
Y ahora es hora de las noticias de cannabis.
It's time for cannabis news from around the world.
Mary J. White, where do you find all of this information?
I work so hard trying to find all this stuff for you guys.
I think she has a staff that does it for her that she won't tell us about.
I do have people.
And they're like pool boys.
They sure are, baby.
Go on the internet and look up cool stuff, and then they come out in a mankini and clean your pool.
Yeah, they Google naked sometimes too.
All right, man.
Awesome. But I want to tell you, this is great news for the people in this here country. Not this here country, but this country.
No, there's her country.
Right. They have enacted these new comprehensive reforms around their cannabis regulations, okay? And this is really cool. They've taken effect already, and under this new law, households in this adorable little country can now grow a maximum of 6 cannabis plants. The whole focus around this is for people to be able to make their own medicine in this adorable little country. Now, your plants must be discreetly maintained. They don't want little children seeing them, God forbid. But the whole thing, they've established this whole big framework for cultivation, usage, sales. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yay, Luxembourg.
Awesome.
Luxembourg.
We
Luxembourg.
love Luxembourg. Lead the way, Luxies.
Do you know where Luxembourg is?
It's down there. It's by
It's
France.
Up
It's
there.
by Belgium-ish.
Yeah, you
France.
got it.
Yeah,
You
it's
fly
there.
there?
You take an airplane or a train, and then it's there.
Yeah, I've been through
Wait,
it.
is
And
that
I trained-
like Joe Biden's train to China?
Kind of like that.
future.
Yeah, like
That's
across
so-
the water.
That's very future forward right there, and that is very
Yay,
in
Luxembourg.
alignment with sustainability as
That's
well.
right.
Very much so.
Yay.
Cool. You know, these small countries that aren't over-governed,
Yes.
like Luxembourg or Israel. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't say that about Israel.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
very governed. But, they're on top of cannabis research.
Yep.
You know, the big
Yes.
countries, there's too much conflict, too much agenda.
Well, too much fucking money.
That
I mean, if
too.
we all start making our own medicine, what are those guys gonna do?
Too much money to be lost.
Yeah, exactly.
By
Too
big
Much ego
pharma.
involved.
Yeah.
It's all ego involved, you guys.
Yeah.
Too much.
Well, let's spin that wheel, AJ. Thank you, Mary J. White,
Certainly.
for reporting. And see what Adrian's going to be hitting as we spin AJ's wheel once again.
All right.
Let's see what's in
Let's
AJ's
go. Let's spin
stash.
that.
And she's...
Ooh, okay, what do we got
Yeah.
here, you guys? Nimbus. This is definitely an indica.
Okay.
Let's see. Indica. Oh, Obsidian. Wow, it smells amazing.
That's a strain name, Obsidian.
Obsidian, yeah. It smells really
What
good.
is that
You wanna
word?
Pull the
Obsidian.
flower? Want to
Obsidian
pull the
is a-
flower out for us?
It's a black rock.
Let's get some flower out.
Obsidian.
I'm
Drop it on here.
nug hounding right now.
Oh, look at that. Those are pretty.
He's showing them to us. He's
They're
handing
lovely.
them
No,
over the
it's
table.
okay.
Yeah.
Those are for you, bro.
Yeah, you
They're
Pack it
quite,
up.
they're quite lovely,
Oh,
actually.
he's dropping it in the restash jar.
Oh,
These
there
are
you
nice,
go.
they're very beautiful, nice, tight OG nugs.
There you go.
All right, let's
guys.
get you locked and loaded.
All right, Nimbus, way to go. And he's got
Let me light your fire, baby.
he's got the My Bud Vase pipe right there. I guess that's a bong. Made by My Bud Vase. Go to mybudvase.com. We
flame
love
going.
Doreen and the entire company. They send us My Bud Vases. We have a really cool wall full of My Bud Vases here. Leaf HQ in the south area of Seattle, where
I want
the Leaf was
More,
born
more.
in 2010. So,
Boy, that smells
Adrian,
good.
as he's hitting that, I think Wes should have a toke as well. He's looking a little dry over
Wes
there.
is over here needing a little
Look,
something.
he's
something.
blowing it
wanna
out like a
finish it?
sprinkler head.
Whew, it smells.
Smoke going everywhere.
It smells really good. It smells like the backyard when you had the campfire and Dad's burning the chicken.
Yeah.
That's the hemp wick. You're smelling
the
a little of
Oh,
it too.
okay. I like
This is kind
that.
of slightly different.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all natural. Wow, he just pinched it with his fingers.
Pinch finger.
To put the flame out. So now, Adrian,
that's bomb.
I think you have a gift for us here at the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
Some
Hey.
restash jars.
Hey.
Look, we get a present. Oh my God, thank you.
So this is obviously the restash jar that you put your weed into, but this growler is something that you drink out of as well. Tell me about it, bro. It's what do you call this?
Re-up cup.
I call that the Mason re-up cup.
The re-up cup.
Yeah, kapow.
And by the way, the rest of there it goes. You just opened it up.
Yes.
All right.
There you go.
I was going to say
show
the
them-
rest of the weed goes into the restash jar, man.
Exactly.
You
so
drop it in. You can also drop your cannabis concentrates in a restash jar.
Oh yeah, and your
Okay.
edibles and your joints.
So in Delhi states, we're approved to be used as a continuous use packaging and exit bag. So that's what we do with the restash, how to reduce plastic waste.
And an exit bag, in a lot of states, you have to leave in an approved bag.
Yes.
Like the weed has to go. Now, it's silly. They'll sell you as much liquor as you want.
Right.
And they don't care how you get it out the store.
Right.
You don't have to store it away from the kids or anything. No big
Exactly.
deal.
Yeah.
But weed has to. And that is a part of why there's so much waste.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at child resistant packaging, it's got plastic tabs and it's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
pressure points that you have to push on to get it opening. That's all extra plastic. And it's a lot of waste. I mean, the cannabis
Exactly.
industry is up there
Yeah.
in terms of industries creating waste. And it's sad because it is a plant. A lot of it is grown naturally with the sun or at least in sustainable indoor
Yeah.
environments. And then we're just blowing it
Yeah.
on the
and
plastic.
that's definitely it's controversial in our industry because when we go out and we do product demos and product sales in the industry, we run into bud tenders and they'll tell us, man, there's so much plastic we're putting out in the industry and it makes us feel so uncomfortable. And I'm even thinking about leaving this industry I love because of the amount of plastic we're creating. So it's starting to shift the hearts of some of the people that are working in this industry as well. The plant, as you guys know, it really awakens the consciousness. For a lot of people, it's the bridge, it's the beginning, it's like that first step on the sacred path of awareness. And for every person I've talked to and interviewed throughout my lifetime in journalism, and Wes as well, I've read his stories, many of his stories, and they often say the same thing. Cannabis was the first thing that made them start tap opening questions and keys and pushing back at the government and wait a minute, the drug program told me, DARE program or whatever, the DARE program told me not to mess with this, but what else are they lying about? Because this plant just I had a fucking blast on this plant, or my body feels better, or I could actually eat a whole meal. And before I had anxiety that was debilitating. So yeah, this plant is something else, you guys, and protecting it, treating it as as it is sacred, treating it as what it is part of our mission with Restash, taking away the bad feeling, the negative connotation of having to put it in plastic, seeing it degrade in, seeing it degrade and break down in mylar bags and pop tops. It's a systemic issue that we need to start to create a solution for.
Well, we talked in the first segment about getting back to a deli style or a farmer's market future. And like I mentioned, you go to a market in a third world country and you bring your own bag and you go home with, all those things that you bought in that bag, and then you use the same bag again. How do we get back to that when we live in a world where not only is it profitable to sell the product, but it's profitable to sell the plastic for these companies? companies, huge companies, DuPont, Monsanto, whatever, are benefiting.
Cookies.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, if you look at it from a personal level, a lot of us, go to the farmer's market. I think personally, as individual humans, we can do a lot. But if you're talking about, corporations, that's a whole different fucking thing.
That's a policy thing. That's a systemic thing. So we gotta get behind our cannabis advocates, because these minds are open minds and they're full circle minds. These are minds that are tapped into Earth's mana, Earth's consciousness, and Earth's power.
But I think what also has to happen is that state by state, we have to legislate that.
Yeah, exactly.
In this state, we can't do the deli thing. If we could do the deli thing, this would be awesome.
A no-brainer. So there's work to be done. And the beautiful part about being a U.S. citizen is that we have the power to help shape our government and our laws. So we gotta get behind some of our advocates with this concept. It starts with talking with your
Bring
boards.
back deli style.
Bring
Wes,
deli style back.
Do we have the power?
Well, I think it's in America, money leads politics.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and that's the sad truth. So we've got to find a way to incentivize the legislators, like in Washington here. You have to sell the weed prepackaged.
Right.
If you buy a gram, it's in a package. If you buy an ounce, it's in a package. If you buy an ounce of a bunch of different strains, you could have 8/8, and they're each in a different, package. And then I want to point out too, because it's really surprised me, is how bad mylars are at storing weed for longer than, a week, 2 weeks, a month. It's really sad. Like, as someone who used a lot of Ziploc bags, Ziplocs are good and they don't have as much metal and they are recyclable. You throw weed in a Ziploc bag, it kind of breathes a little bit. The weed stays pretty fresh. Weed in mylars dries out very quickly. It loses its flavor very quickly. And the terpenes are even acting as solvents. So you're breaking down that plastic. Same thing with concentrates.
Yep.
You don't want to leave them in plastic for too long. That's why you see high-end concentrates come in a glass jar with a glass lid, because the plastic will actually, that concentrate acts as a solvent, leaches the plastic. And we did a plastic show.
Powerful
now
medicine.
babies are born with plastic in their blood.
Inside them.
So we've got to start this by, making a difference where we can.
Exactly.
Just like with the reef thing. But at the same time, and I didn't get to say this on the reef show, go back and listen to it if you haven't yet.
Reefing,
which is about, coral reefs. It comes down to corporations, because it's the corporate companies that are poisoning the earth. It's the oil companies. It's the industries that have polluted to the point that we have global warming and we have reefs dying. It's not because as an individual we went to Safeway and got a plastic bag.
It is because of that also.
We can change the course.
It's because of that, though,
as
also.
individuals.
Because each one of us...
Sweetie, 9% of the plastic pollution is just from regular people.
Yeah,
the rest,
exactly.
But that's 9%.
But still
The rest,
9%.
91% is from corporations. But that's a big percent. I'm not
But
saying...
we're buying it. We're buying the corporate plastic. And then we're the ones that are being the irresponsible polluters, because the corporate guy has all his shit deli style. He has everything catered and customized and might be growing his own food.
Okay.
I'm just saying that in the end, it's like we are the problem, right? So we have to actively every day be choosing not to do certain things.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Humans
what a trip,
are
huh?
the problem.
Yes.
Okay, we're competitive, we're territorial, and we're greedy. And at the end of the day, I don't know. Okay, I don't think any of us have the answer. I think we just need to live a happy life. And like I said on the reefing show last week, we need to take accountability for our own actions. And Wes is right. I don't know.
Mary's point, the statistics point to corporations polluting the world. So if we as individuals make changes, the market will respond. That's capitalism. So if just one person changes their habits, that doesn't change a market. But if 10 times 10 times 10 start changing, then we have enough market forces, we have spending power. Then politicians pay attention too.
That's true.
So it's really, it comes down to individuals and then also us getting fed up with this and saying we don't want it anymore and making choices.
Unfortunately, there's probably going to be catastrophe that forces us into getting fed up.
It's already happening.
It's happening now. Yeah.
Already happening.
Anyways, people, be conscious.
Yeah.
We want to be
Yes,
here as long as
say that.
possible, and our children and our grandchildren and beyond. And stop watching the news so much.
Yeah,
It's bullshit.
It makes you crazy.
All right, Adrian, now it's time for you to play Florida Man.
This Florida man is accused of having sex with a miniature horse,
Arresting a naked man.
Obviously intoxicated.
Attacking a man with a singing fish plaque.
And waving bags of drugs around.
It sounds funny, but it's not once you're the one being given the wedgie.
It's Florida Man.
Hey, bro, you ever been to Florida?
No.
Oh,
Maybe we should do a segment called Oregon Man.
God. It'd be all about
This man went to the strip club
I
and
like
an
the sound of that.
octopus tattooed lady. No, not as funny.
No.
Okay. So, which of these news headlines is true, Adrian? You ready?
Tell me.
My God. Number 1. Florida man rescued from top of palm tree that he scaled with no plan of how to come down after surviving for 3 days by drinking coconut water. Okay. Number 2. Florida man in toucan bird costume arrested at busy intersection for harassing drivers by screaming that he is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Ay, ay,
I don't know
ay.
about that one.
And number 3, Florida man loses patience waiting at hospital and steals ambulance to drive home. It was the Oregon guy.
Number 3.
That's a little more reasonable.
Danny Konecki was taken to the hospital Tuesday night after his neighbor reported him to be drunk and suicidal. Once home, with the ambulance left in his neighbor's driveway, he was found hiding in the trunk of his car inside his garage.
Oh, my God.
That's a good getaway. That's the getaway car. Just no driver, Mary.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Adrian, where can we find you on social media and Restash?
You can find us on Restash Jar and Masonry Products.
.com?
Mason-re.com.
Okay.
Yep, and you can email me as well off the website. For
What about your
custom jars?
Instagram account, bro? People can just DM you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
DM or Instagram. We can
What
take
is it?
care of you. Restash Jar. But my personal?
R-E
Yeah.
stash jar.
Yeah.
Okay, and your personal.
AK Kimbo.
My guy.
Kimbo.
Brother,
yeah,
thank you so
baby.
much for being on the Leaf Life podcast.
Likewise. I'm glad I was there.
Thank
Glad to
you
be
for
here.
the jars.
Yeah, appreciate the
Yeah.
jars, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Good
store my
talk.
weed in a way that will actually keep it fresh.
Yes.
Cheers.
And drop proof.
Yep. And thank you for, opening up people's minds to this reuse concept, because big deal to us. It's a mission.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. You've been doing this 9 years, right?
Yep, 9 years.
wow.
Started off Kickstarter,
Reduce, reuse,
One
recycle.
bottle,
And now
at
you've
a
sold
time.
like 300,000?
Yes, we have.
Nice.
Congratulations, bro. Keep
It's
up the
cutting
good
back
work.
on a lot of top plastic waste.
Big time.
Daily.
Yeah.
Hey, Wes, next week, from federal agent to medicine man.
That is a crazy story.
No kidding.
Download this and all Leaf Life episodes at leafmagazines.com. You can listen to all Leaf Life podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, anywhere you enjoy podcasts, including YouTube. Please subscribe at Leaf Life Podcast V2. Now here comes another episode of Stony Baloney, which is also available at leafmagazines.com. And please be kind to animals.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies. Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Amsterdam Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer. Now, please stay tuned for this week's edition of Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Fuck bok choy. I love Asian food, but in case you couldn't tell from the title, I'm not a big fan of bok choy. In fact, I think it's how you say fuck you in a foreign language. And I think the word for love is pho. I get your confusion. We're talking about a food item here, not an ex who brought home a surprised STD. Therefore, there's no justification to treat it with equal vitriol. It's just that my hands are experiencing chopstick fatigue from constantly fishing it out of my perfect bowl of delicious Vietnamese noodle soup. At least it was perfect before I discovered bok choy transforming my warm meal into a kelp forest. It's just that I don't consider bok choy food for humans. I'm sure ducks love it, but to them, anything that floats in a pond and is soft and wet and doesn't require teeth will get them to their quacky place. But for me, soggy lettuce celery is not sustenance. Is bubblegum food? What about styrofoam? Rats eat it. I wonder if they will eat bok choy. Probably not. Anyway, did you know that eating celery burns more calories than it contains? This is called a negative calorie food. I don't believe bok choy is a negative calorie food, just a negative vortex that induces a trickle of anguish when I see it drastically hovering in my steaming bowl. And sure, just pick it out and move on. But then there's the regret of wasting food that is not fit for the compost pile. Maybe I should shut the fuck up and be grateful. Maybe I should just stick to pizza. One time, when I was a teenager, I bought a bunk bag of joints from some dude in his 20s. It was later deduced as rolled oregano, but I'll bet it was dried up, shredded bok choy. Oh, and by the way, fuck Brussels sprouts.
Stony baloney.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker and Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risks associated with consumption of this product. For use by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.